If you're watching this video, you probably know what I'm going to talk about. Yeah, that's right. In less than a week from each other yet again, Infinity II2 and TPOT 13 have come out. I knew TPOT 13 was going to come out sometime in mid-September based on their monthly releases, but I wasn't 100% taken by surprise when Infinity II came out. I honestly thought that for the finale of the series, it was going to take at the very least a few months to come out, but I guess not. And they were also going to split the finale into multiple parts, so that's something I guess, but definitely to be expected. Now for the episodes themselves, both Animation Epic and Jack and Jelly cooked way too hard on these episodes. And please remember to be civil in the comments, because at the end of the day, it's just some guy saying his opinions on the internet that might anger like at best 6 people. And also, I want a quest to get 3,000 subs by the end of the year so I can turn my profile picture into this capybara. Why? Because it's cute and really funny. Okay, no more yapping, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to start talking about the more recent of the 2 episodes, that being TPOT 13. Now, I and many others agree that this episode was really good. To start, animation is as good as always, and this time, Michael's part didn't feel so out of place and overstimulating like in BFDIA 14. Instead, it just feels nice and polished, and so many other parts of the episode were good too, and the detail of the storm and some other parts, like the fight with Roboflower scene, were really well animated too. The voice acting is great as always, but I literally do not feel like saying the same thing over and over again about the voices. But yeah, there's a lot of variety between all of the characters' voices, which is very nice. But honestly, what I think takes the cake at stake, get it? That was not funny. In this episode is the writing, or the main plot I guess, whatever suits the best. The episode starts off with Fiery and Leafy building their house in Dreamier Island, which I didn't expect for that to be the first scene of the episode, but this makes sense later. And what happens is that there is a storm coming to the island, and after it ends, Leafy appears to have been kidnapped by the one and only, and then attempts to persuade Basketball into signing the deal about, I don't know, dude. Then the debut happens, which yeah, Cheating Nacho isn't going to be very happy with this one. The storm reaches the hotel they're all at, and after some creatures come in literally out of nowhere, then the challenge is to defend the hotel, and after Roboflower gets defeated, Basketball accepts the deal with one, and Roboflower is back to normal. Some other challenge up later, and yeah, Death back yet again, and Team 2 lose, and that's pretty much it. Now honestly, the plot for the episode is amazing and executed really well. I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but still bear with me. For the opening scene, it was surprising but also a great introduction to the episode, and also we needed to check up on Fiery and Leafy. Secondly, I'm glad that the whole ordeal with One is so continuing with this episode, and with Basketball trying to resist the urge to sign this seemingly mysterious contract with her. And she also kidnapped Burbank and Needle for some reason. I don't know why she had to do that, but okay. Cartoon logic, I guess. There was also the debut, in which ended up being a double debut. And when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, so Lai and Bracelet are joining. But it turns out Pencil had more votes than Bracelet, which in my opinion, I do prefer Pencil over Bracelet joining. I mean, I voted for her. But man, is Cheating Nacho going to start his villain arc right about now. It almost feels like the Jack and Jelly team did that on purpose to piss him off even further. Which is pretty funny, but Cheating Nacho allegedly said that he literally could not enjoy the episode after that. So, yeah. And speaking of votes, why did Needle have to get out? Like, dude, she was actually getting a decent arc with Pen and then has to get off the next episode. I could go on, but I don't feel like it. I just, like, why does that have to happen? Next up, I also really like the challenge this time. It takes the idea of 2 has a problem and your challenge is to fix it and dials it up to 11. Because having an actually interesting challenge instead of finding some plates is definitely better. And the thing is, it actually makes sense for there to be a storm, because it seems like One made that search image 2 or something. And the execution of the challenge was good too. And finally, I'm so glad that the original Roboflower came back this episode. Don't get me wrong, the whole Roboflower arc was interesting, but I was kind of getting annoyed by it by now. And seeing it come to an end, I know that a super mega badass fight scene makes this a perfect ending of the saga. I could definitely continue talk about TPOT 13, like with Lion Pencil joining at the last scene, but if I do this video, it's going to turn into a movie, so I'll keep it short and say this is the base model of what a perfect TPOT episode would look like. It had its serious, cinematic, plot-driven moments while still having room for silliness, which has stuck around BFTI since the very beginning. Okay, that felt longer than usual. Now on to Inanimate Insanity 16. The episode starts off with a scene that has me from 3GS and his fellow crewmates stealing from the species of which I'd like to call the eggs, in which explains how the egg got onto Mars and the other one in Cobb's hands. Then we get a scene of the Hop or Haja party in Hotel OJ, followed by Tucko confronting people, in which he ended up... Oh no. And yeah, after this, Knife and Suitcase have to travel to Meeple to defeat Steve, and then they have an existential crisis. Oh, and there's a new song too. That's something, I guess. That's pretty cool. Now, for why I like the episode so much, the animation is fine. It's not really anything new, and I honestly think that the animation between episodes 10 and 14 of season 2 are better quality than this and episode 15, but whatever, I don't give a shit. Though something that is good about Inanimate Insanity 2:16 is the voice acting. There is a very significant amount of effort put into the voice acting this episode. Some very good examples of this are scenes where Tucko reacts to Pickle's death, OJ dying to what seems to be an Me Phone X because of the notch and the giant X in the middle, the song of course, and the final Steve Cobbs line. I'll play it right now if you haven't seen it already, which you probably should have.
See, Me Phone didn't just make the show, he made you.
I hopefully don't even have to explain why the voice acting was done so right in the scenes. It felt like the voice actors put their soul into recording those lines. Oh, and while I'm at it, OJ's voice actor was pretty damn solid this episode. And now to the main reason why I love this episode so much, the plot. I bet absolutely none of you saw that coming. To start, the first scene is already a reference to episode 13 and 14 of the season, and as I already said, it explains how the green egg got into Mars to begin with. So we already start off good. Then the part where Suitcase finds out that season 3 habit is also done well. Not only that, but we get to see the season 2 designs of the season 3 newbies like Cabby and Goo. And there's even a little bit of foreshadowing. I play the clip.
I agree. Please don't. I'd like to see it. But how and when? This can't be real.
Oh, and also, I did expect Suitcase to have a stronger reaction to Baloo and Nickel becoming friends. But not like it matters cause, you know... And also the scene where Tucko and Pickle talk again is also done well. Though the outcome was expected, it would have been really funny if Pickle actually forgave Tucko and died right after. But that would have been perchance a bit too funny. And the scene where OJ dies is executed right too, and serves for a perfect build-up for what's about to happen. Next up, I want to talk about the song. It's really good, but also really addictive. Don't get me wrong, but like for 3 to 4 days after the episode came out, the only thing in my head was
The future is so yesterday.
and it was concerning, but now it's all better. But yeah, the song is so catchy, well sang and animated. There's also the scene with me from 3GS, where even more lore is revealed and another callback to earlier episodes. Finally, the scene where Steve Cobb says his iconic catchphrase is done super right and leaves us with a giant cliffhanger. Now that scene alone is already good, but the build up to that scene is also good, with, you guessed it, even more lore drops. It looks like the OC theorists are gonna have a blast figuring out what all this means. I could keep going, but I hope my yapping section makes my opinion of these episodes clear. But there is just one more thing I want to mention, and it's not exactly a positive thought. You see, while the Inanimate Insanity finale is very cool, it introduces a problem. What's next? No, seriously, what comes next after the finale? Like, sure, the finale will be very good, but I'm worried that it will be the end of the entire series. Like, you have all the contestants slowly realizing the fact that they aren't real, and either Mifone or Cobbs will be defeated. And after that, then what? Unless the later parts of the finale are going to introduce some new reason to keep the show going, after this, a new season of Inanimate Insanity would just be pointless. And even if they still do it without a proper reason, then it's probably just going to be some shameless cash grab like II2. I'll get to why I think that in a later video. But still, I love Inanimate Insanity and I always will. And seeing all of the story and dots and pieces coming together after over 5 years of watching the show is very exciting for me. And so do many others as well. And these last few episodes have been some of, if not the best we've ever gotten from the Animation Epic team. After all, I could just be worrying about nothing, but it's still something that could very well happen to the show. And even if Inanimate Insanity did fall off, worst case scenario is that we get a mediocre season 4 and some OC YouTubers will leave. But that's about it. I hope you enjoyed my yapping session, and with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.